Hey guys, welcome back. Merry Christmas to y'all. About a week to go now until Christmas Eve. And this place is turning into Santa's workshop more and more. But in between wrapping some packages, I'm gonna try to get some spacers done for my Volvo Laplander. I modified the car a while back and mounted some brake discs on the front axle. This means that the caliper is a bit in the way for the rim I'm intending to use. So I'll show you that on the car in just a little while. So these rounds are cut out from 20mm steel plate, and I had, as I said, a local company do this for me. A lot easier, and it's pretty cheap. So these are cut to about 200mm. So the problem here is that the caliper is sticking out from this face here where the rim goes. So what I need to do is I need to get the rim to sit a little bit further out so it will clear the caliper. So here's the drawing we will follow. Just zoom in on that so you can see. Hopefully there. I mic'd that hub out on the car, and the measurement I got was 105.88mm. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make this 106, and if there is a problem that I don't get it on the hub, I'll simply have to chuck it up again, maybe in my forejaw, and indicate it and take off some more material. But I don't want to take off more material than I need to, and there are some surface rust on that hub, and it's, you know, we want to be as thorough as we can. At the same time, we need to pay attention to getting the job done and not overworking it. So I've settled for 106mm on the ID there, and this little flange up here is going to be 2mm in height, and it's going to be 3mm because the OD, or I should say the ID inside the rim, is 112mm. That's something I did when I fixed those rims a while back. I put them in the lathe and I turned the ID up to be able to do just this when I turn this spacer. So so we need 6mm bigger there than on the ID, and the width of it, the thickness of it, is going to be whatever is left after we've faced both the sides and we've made that 2mm flange. So I'm thinking it's gonna end up somewhere around 17mm, and I'll make those two the same. But if they're 17 or 17.5 or 16.5, won't matter. So as you can see here, I have my 3-jaw on with the external jaws. And the reason that I'm using my 3-jaw and not my 4-jaw you see me use in a lot of my videos is primarily two reasons, really. One is that for now the 3-jaw is on my lathe, and I could of course swap it. I do that all the time, but my 4-jaw weighs maybe with the backing plate. It weighs probably upwards to 40 kilograms, something like that. And it's always a bit of a hassle to change it. So whenever I do change chucks, I try to use the one I have on the lathe for as many projects as I can before swapping it for another. That's one reason. And the other one is that using a 4-jaw is always a bit of a hassle, I think. It's a great thing to have, and as I said, I use it for most of my works. But the 3-jaw is easier. You just chuck it up, tighten the jaws, and you're good to go. There's no indicating, nothing like that. So that's the reasons for using the 3-jaw this time. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna mount it like this. Just snug it up, and we'll use this lead to just bump it in, so we know we have it flush on the jaws. And then we'll just tighten it a bit more, and we're good to go. So the operations we're going to do here is, you always need to go through this before starting a project. What are the steps and how am I going to do this? So the way I'm thinking here is that I'm going to start with facing it off, and we'll probably turn the OD as far as we can. You see the chuck jaws are a bit in the way there, so we're going to turn it as far in as we can, down to 180 millimeters. Then we're going to drill and bore out the center hole. We're going to face this to get the flange we need sticking out. So we're going to do that on this side, and after we've done that, I'm going to take the indexing attachment and drill the 5 holes for the bolts. When that's done, we can then flip the part over, turn the rest of the OD and face it off, and probably put a little bit of a relief angle on the back side there, on the ID. Alright, so new day, and despite those problems with the tool bit and the stringy chips, I think the part turns out pretty good. Surface finish is good and everything, so it's just kind of a matter of it would be more fun to do this work if I didn't have those problems with especially with the chips. So I'm gonna keep working and maybe find a better suited tool bit to turn those parts. But it is a big problem when you turn mild steel. It does tend to give you a pretty stringy chip. So that's we'll see what we can do about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill those 5 holes for the wheel stubs, and I do get questions every now and then about my drilling attachment and especially my indexing attachment. So, and I just made some modifications just not too long ago, so I want to take some time and show you those parts as well.